Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about there seems to be a fundamental problem in the WWE. So, something some of y'all might not know about me, but I used to be a huge wrestling fan. I used to watch that stuff every week. I would get hyped. I would record matches on the good old VHS and everything. Like buying wrestling belts and all kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Singing their catchphrases, imitating their moves and everything. But I stopped watching wrestling around 2009, I believe, because I got rid of like cable because I saw the writing on the wall. Streaming is taking over, and stuff that's on TV is kind of blah. Now, if you ever watch any of my videos, you know I will occasionally mention something about wrestling when comparing it to a movie or a character or something. I'll either bring up like a person or like their finishing maneuver or something like that. And talking about wrestling isn't something I do on this channel because the simple fact I just don't watch it no more. And so because of that, I really don't know who a lot of these people are. But a couple of years back, when I figured out that WWE has like a YouTube channel and they upload some of their older matches, I'm like, okay, sure, why not? I'll check them out. And I was shocked and surprised to see they had a woman's battle royal for like the Royal Rumble. And that tells you how much I've been out of the loop. I didn't even know that there were tons more females. I didn't know there was a like female tag team division. Like I didn't know. So I quickly started watching their matches, trying to figure out who some people are. I tend to watch the female matches more, only because I mean, come on, they look the way they do. But you gotta give it up. The guys are more hard hitting with their maneuvers than the females, and some of the females are kind of sloppy, and and some of them are starting to really botch their moves, especially lately and everything. But I tend to watch a lot of females, and because of that, I started to be fans of some of them, and some of them I stopped because they're very irritating, like a certain person's cousin, who you know and everything. But there are some people like I really, really, really enjoy to watch and stuff like that. Bailey's one, Oscar's one, Io's one, and there's a couple of more. I just don't feel like getting into their names right now. And I'm having a hard time trying to think of who they are. And like I said before, I'm still trying to remember their names and stuff like that. And when it comes to the guys, I barely know who any of them are and stuff. But I do watch YouTube wrestling videos like WrestleMania, and see what's going on, keeping in the know, and stuff like that. I watched a couple of the older matches, mostly older matches. And I've been watching a lot of older stuff. Some matches I've never seen before. Some I love to death that I haven't seen since I was in like my teens or early 20s. And so and I know a lot of people have been saying, oh, WWE is not what it used to be and this and that. And, I cut out around the aggression era and everything. And the main reason why I stopped is because I think I've mentioned this before. Like, okay, they'll come from a commercial break, right? And you'll have about 3 or 4 promos, and then they'll go to another commercial break. I'm like, dude. Instead of 3 or 4 promos, just cut 2 and then have a wrestling match. And then after that, do like another promo after the commercial break. And it drove me nuts. And a lot of these promos were very, very comedic and everything. And they were just getting on my nerves and everything. And so, I actually decided to just sit down and watch a couple of stuff like live shows lately and the pay-per-views and everything. And that Saturday night, whatever it was called, main event, my God, there were so many commercials. And I watched another program a while back, And once again, they cut from commercial break and 4 or 5 promos, and then another commercial break, and then some people are wrestling. And I had no idea who they were, so I just turned it off. And another reason why I stopped watching wrestling is because a lot of these wrestlers get on my nerves because they just won't shut up online. Like, seriously, man, just shut your mouth. Wrestlers should be seen and not heard. Unless they're cutting the promo and everything. I don't give a rat's behind what your politics are. I don't give a rat's behind, like, people complaining that, like, you're not hitting somebody hard enough with a chair. Like, I don't want to see your racist little tweets and everything. Like, I'm so sick of them. So I just decided to just, phase that wrestling part out of my life, but still keeping up with what's going on in the news. And when I watched Saturday Night Main Event, and when I've been watching a couple of other matches, like, on YouTube, just to see, have a little fun, a little bored, see what's going on and everything, see they got like a new belt design or something like that. And I'm starting to notice something. Where are all the heavy hitters at? Where are all the main eventers? And why are they pushing so many mid-card and, like, not really doing nothing with the enhancement talents? And when I was washing dishes tonight, Triple H popped in my head because I was watching a video on WrestleMania, and they was talking about, wrestlers that was despised, like, backstage. And remember the reign of Triple H during the early 2000s, during the brand split, when he was awarded the World Heavyweight title and Bischoff was there, and how he would bury every stinking talent. And then Jeff Jarrett did it in TNA. Because the most, like, the main, like, wrestling organizations I've ever watched is WWE first, TNA second, back in the early 2000s. I will pop in just to see what AEW is doing with that, I don't know who that woman is. She's hot. She used to be a former champion. She's always doing like these black and white promos, and right now she has amnesia, where she's like a biker chick and everything, and that's about it. Now I want to see who some of the female wrestlers are, and I'm like, my God, they're sloppy. Then I started watching Women of Wrestling again. I haven't watched that since 2001. My God, they wrestle so sloppy, botch after botch after botch. No wonder they're not in the WWE and stuff. And I used to watch Ring of Honor. And so, like, let me get back on track because I'm losing my train of thought. And so I'm just like, where? Like, remember the reign of Triple H that just drove everybody nuts? But then when I stopped and I thought about that, I'm all like, even though he buried everybody, he still had big name people he would defend the title against. And now I started thinking, like, his feud, like, Triple H, he feuded with Stone Cold, The Rock, Mankind, The Undertaker, Kane, The Big Show, Batista and Goldberg, and, and RVD, and just so many people, Booker T and everything. And, even Jeff Hardy, I think at one point in time. And I'm thinking to myself, those were big, like, some of them were big name heavy hitters, and other of them was like more mid-card people and stuff. And so I was just like thinking, where are these people, not them, but like where the newer generation of the big heavy hitters are. And I stopped and I thought about something. Have you noticed that just about every single wrestler in the WWE right now, whether they're like a main eventer or they're mid-card or an enhancement talent? I used to love saying the word jobber, but Steven Richards and all like, oh, it's offensive, and Gold does it like, oh, that's offensive. So I'm like, it just rolls off your tongue so nicely, but whatever, enhancement talent. I've noticed almost everybody's in a fraction. Like, have you noticed that? almost everybody's in a team of like wrestlers, and even the ones that are doing the single stuff, they're still either allied with a fraction, or they will tag with somebody else, or they will get an assist from somebody else later on tagging or forming a team briefly. And I'm just like, yeah, sometimes they would do that back in the old days, but not every single stinking wrestler's in some type of like group organization. You know what I'm saying? And that's a huge problem right there. There's nobody really standing out because they're all in groups, they're all being helped out. It's almost like they need baby help or something like that. They can't get the job done, you know, they can't do the job by themselves. And I'm just kind of like, that's not how wrestling's supposed to be. Because like right now, you know, Cody's the champ and Gunther's the champ, and like, you know, they're doing their singles thing. But then, you know, what's his name? Kevin Owens just challenged him. And I'm just stopping, I thought to myself, Kevin Owens is a former Universal Champion, and a lot of people have forgotten that. The man hasn't been world champ ish, because, you know, Universal Champion really wasn't the world title, but whatever. He hasn't been a world champ since that reign he had as Universal Champion, and now he's going for the title again. He's been relegated to both mid card and tag team for since he lost that title and everything. And you know, same thing with Drew McIntyre. He hasn't been a world champ since he was Universal Champion and stuff. And he's just, I don't know what the heck he's been doing and stuff, but now he coming back from injury and stuff like that. And I'm just kind of like, huh. Like, they're pushing these dudes, but I'm looking at them as though they're mid card and, you know, getting that push back into the main event. And I'm just kind of like, these dudes should have never been stuck in mid card and never been stuck in tag team once they was a world champion. That is what happened to Mankind, and that's what happened to Kane back in the day. Because it's shocking and surprising that Mankind's only been a 4-time WWE champion, because the other times he was tagging with The Rock or tagging with Stone Cold. And as for Kane, Vince never really saw nothing in Kane. That man's been repackaged more than Rikishi. And so, like, you know, he was always out of tagging or this and that. But Vince would just, you know, give him the world heavyweight title. Because Vince never really saw no value in that because it wasn't titled WWE title. And so, like, you know, so I was really shocked and surprised. I started thinking, who exactly could be considered main event-ish type people? And then I'm like, okay, they're pushing Damian Priest every once in a while, and he was a former champ, but then he lost, and he's mostly just kind of doing this, like, you know, face type thing where he's there to, like, you know, piss off the heel champ. And I'm all like, I don't even really see him as like world champion level. I'm still thinking of him as mid card, because in the past couple of weeks, if he wasn't injured, he's not really doing much. And then I started thinking about Liv and crap, what's her name? The Australian lady. Tall lady with the muscles. Heck, who is she? I forgot her name. The Australian one with the black hair. They've been doing this whole love triangle thing with Dominic for way too long. Now, the good thing about that is that it was an interesting storyline, and it did make Liv Morgan a heck of a lot more popular, because when she was starting to get her big push and she won like Money in the Bank, her first title reign sucked. She was boring. She whined too much about being unappreciated and having to work really hard and being a waitress and all this other stuff. And people was all like, shut up and wrestle. And so they took the belt off her because she was boring. But then they put it back on her. They repackaged her as a heel. And the whole her Dominic and like, crap, what's that woman's name? Riptide, something Ripley. No, wait. Crap. See, I'm forgetting people's names already, but it did help push them and stuff. But now they're starting to get boring again. And I remember Nikki Cross. Like, I actually like Nikki Cross. I hate that she's an enhancement talent. And so, because, like, when I first started seeing her, she was doing the psycho thing. Then she did that superhero thing, and people hated that. Then she went back to the psycho thing, and nobody was feeling that. And now she's with, I think, called the Wyatt Six or the Wyatt Family, something like that. And but she's still not really doing anything. She's just there, back to her cycle thing where she's spying on people, and she'll hit a couple of moves on folks, and that's really about it. And I remember the woman was like a woman's champion and everything, and she can actually wrestle. That is the thing. She can actually wrestle. I went back and looked at her indie stuff. She was a hard hitter back then. And not only that, but Piper Niven. Like, I went back and watched Piper's like indie stuff. Holy crap, she was hardcore. Not hardcore matches, but like she would hit you hard and everything. But then when you come to WWE, they don't want you doing certain moves, so she can't do that no more. And she's a great wrestler who is a big girl, but very safe in the ring. And like, she's just an enhancement talent now. And I'm just kind of like, dude, you should be booking her as like a Monster Hill just tearing through people. It was a heck of a lot better than Eva Marie, who can. Oh my God, that was pathetic. I wonder, man, what was going like they said she I think Vince emailed her and the work back for the company. What was going on in those emails? Vince is a nasty man. But it's just like certain people they should push, they don't push. And not only that, but back when I was thinking about who is the main eventers and stuff, most of their main event people who used to headline have either been fired and are like in either TNA or AEW. They're either injured, and they've been injured for it feels like a million years, or they came up with some weird like illness that's taking them out, like Alyssa Bliss, because originally she left because she got pregnant and married. And people like, yo, where are you at? But apparently she has like an illness now or something like that. And then there's Carmella. She was pregnant, and I think she has something now, like an illness or something. But was she really a main eventer? She was over in like the mic department, but I don't know if she was ever that good because I never really watched her stuff. Sorry about that, to clear my throat. And I'm just like, and then I don't know where the heck Charlotte Flair is, but people are tired of her. But they could really use her right now. Not winning a championship, but they could just use her right now. And then, Randy Orton, when is the last time that man has challenged for like the main title? He's mostly just been doing tag team stuff when his shoulder's not taking him out. And like Becky Lynch, now she's gonna be on Star Trek of all things. Her husband, I think he was in like a Marvel movie. So it's like all their main people are either hurt. Sorry about that, my camera died. Where was I? So it's like a lot of their main people either hurt, or they're pursuing other things, they've been fired, or like, they're like doing silly, goofy stuff. And it's just kind of, or just boring storylines, or they're in a fraction. And so when you don't have your big name heavy hitters going week after week after week, pursuing that title, it just makes for a very lackluster company and a show and everything. And they're not even pushing their main people, because most of their main people really aren't there. Like when I look at these people, they don't look nothing like the people back in the day. They like I don't want them like taking like the juice, and I don't want them doing that. But it's just kind of like they look like mid card people. Like Finn Balor, I don't take him serious. I don't Austin Theory or whatever his name is, I don't take him serious either. Like, why did Vince push him so much? And he won Money in the Bank only to go for like the IC title or US title and lost. That was pathetic. And not only that, but then you have champions themselves, and either they keep the belt for like a million years, like Roman Reigns or the Usos did, or they don't defend their belts at all, like Jake Paul didn't, and whoever that last tag team people were. And that's boring. When your people don't like, defend the belt, then what the heck are you even watching for? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you even there? I remember a long time ago, Stone Cold said, if you ain't in the WWE to pursue that belt, then you have no business being there and stuff. And then there are all the mid card people they're pushing right now, and all the enhancement talent. The enhancement talents are basically just not doing really nothing. And now the mid card people have become enhancement talent. But now they're really trying to push both of them. And both like mid card and enhancement people are really messing up lately. Like they're really botching a lot of moves. Like that, what was it? The first female US title, like, the tournaments going into it and the match themselves. I'm just like, are they tired? Are they not sure what's going on? Are they too worked up? Like, how are you botching this many moves, but yet you're getting pushed? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get that. And I feel bad saying that because they're trying their hardest and everything, but something's not clicking. And then, like, war games, like, I watched the one from last year. That was cool. I watched both the women's and the men's. And I watched the female one this year, and I'm just like, my God, what was that? Not only is the wrestlers not sure what the heck they're doing, you got Nia Jax and Naomi and Bailey not knowing how to take chair shots. Then you have like Raquel Rodriguez forgot where she put her weapons at. And I felt bad for her because Raquel Rodriguez, she looks cool, man. I was on, what's that dude's name? I want to say his name is Marky 15 or something like that. He showed her TNA run, and my God, it was terrible. But, she has a great look to her now, and she has a great ring attire now. But ever since she came back from that injury, she's been forgetting a lot of stuff. Like she has ring rust or something, but she forgot where she put her weapons at. And that was just weird. And it's not just the wrestlers, it's the camera people as well. We're getting all these awkward angle shots and this and that, and they just look too weird and too uncomfortable. Like when Io did her garbage can thing off the top of the cage, and then Tiffany Stratton did what was it, a swanton bomb. Like one hit it first and the other one followed up a couple seconds later, but the way the camera angle was, I didn't know who was doing what because they focused only on Io. Then all of a sudden Tiffany's doing her thing and my eyes didn't know which direction to go into. And it was supposed to be like a big, huge thing, but I was confused as to what the heck was going on. And, one of the other things I wanted to touch on is like, do you not know that Ron Killings has literally been in the WWE since the end of the Attitude Era, going into the Ruthless Aggression Era? He was literally there around 98 or so. And like he's been there for he's the longest person there that's still competing today, as old as he is. I don't know how old this dude is. He's either in late 40s or early 50s. And remember he left to go to TNA where he became the first black NWA champion. Then he left that and went back to WWE. And in the WWE, all he's ever been is a tag champ, United States champion, and I don't know Intercontinental or not, but of course the 24/7 thing, and that was just for comedic relief. And that's all he's been doing ever since he's been there, comedic relief. And this is on management because him and Chelsea Green can't talk up because they'll get fired. But they have to do the comedic stuff. But then it's the fans as well. All I ever read is, God, they're so funny and everything. Like they're such a gem. Oh my God, they're so funny. It's like, no, they shouldn't be funny. They should be out there kicking butt and everything. And like, the man has literally been in that company so long, and I don't even think he's had a WWE title shot. And he should. He's a former NWA champion. He had some really great moves back in the day, but now he's older. His body is slowing down, and he was out for that injury from like a flying on the top rope, and he was taken out. And that's another problem. People are getting too injured now. It's like I don't know if they're working them too hard or working them like too less and they're not paying attention to what they're doing. But people are getting injured left and right. Every time somebody becomes a champion, they end up getting injured. And I remember when Samoa Joe constantly kept being champion, he kept getting injured, had the belt taken off him. He's getting too old and everything. And that's a huge problem because these injuries are nagging these people. And I don't want them to end up like people back in the day taking all those pain pills and then, leaving the earth by their 50s and stuff. And it's just kind of like people either aren't training hard enough because sometimes some of these people barely wrestle. And then when they do finally have a match, boom, they get injured. Boom, they come back from injury, then they get injured again. And it's just like something has to give, man. Like really, something. Like these people need to stop getting injured and stuff. And then you have like the Miz. He's been there for a good long while, and he was a transitional world champ, and that was about it. And if you've been there for a good long time, try to push somebody into the world title like spot. But it's kind of like do they really want to see him as champ? He looks like he's on the small side, but you don't want him to be on too big of the big side because then you know what he did to get big, but you don't want him doing that. But it's just kind of like, him and Ron was tagging for a long time, and I don't know what exactly he's doing. I think he's back in another tag thing. Then there's Sheamus. He was a former world champion, and now he's relegated to just mid-card stuff. And it's just kind of like, if they were your world champions at one point in time, push these people because they don't have nobody no more. They ain't got the huge body size wrestlers they used to have. A lot of their high flying people are are lumped up with the mid card people. And so you can't really tell the cruiserweights from the mid card people no more. And as for the females, they're not running nothing for them. Those female tag belts are literally cursed and everything. I don't know what the heck Bailey is doing. Like, I really don't. They should have kept her as heel. When she was over with the whole hugging thing, and then that died out, they turned her heel, and then of course she got injured for like a year, came back. And when she's heel, she has better matches and stuff. I hate to see her be a heel, just like Trish Stratus, but she's a better heel than she is a face. Because now that she's a face, now she's just like, woe is me. And, and all this other stuff. And just like, I'm like, come on, dude. Like, you're Bailey for crying out loud. And I don't even want to know what really storyline she's in right now because when one person's a champion on one brand, they don't pay attention to the other. The writing staff doesn't. And not only that, but since Nia Jax has been back, the moment she loses to like a really tiny, skinny person, it's over with for her. Because I think who the heck was it? Oh man, I can't remember. I think it was Selena Vega. I think she did a Canadian Destroyer on Jax, I think, if I'm not too mistaken. I'm just like, oh, Jax is going to be done sooner or later. Because they keep teasing this whole Tiffany Stratton thing. People are still making fun of Nia because of like the chair shot thing. She left Twitter because of it. So she's not in the right headspace right now. But they had her lose to Liv Morgan on Crown Jewel. That tells you right then and there she's done. They're going to take that belt off her, give it to Tiffany, because people now are tired of Tiffany and this whole teasing thing. It's like, do it already or don't do nothing at all. And Liv Morgan is like half her size, if not more than that. She's like a skinny toothpick of a girl, and they had her beat Nia Jax. That don't make no sense right there. That's literally like when Rey Mysterio used to beat the Big Show. And we all know what happened to the Big Show after that. He went into a comedic role. And remember when Nia Jax was in the comedic role, and and it's just kind of like you would think because she's a former like 2 or 3 time, not maybe a 2 time female champion, and who her family lineage is, she would have won. And Liv's first title reign was boring and everything. I'm just saying, but who had the better storyline? Liv did because of that whole Mysterio thing. And whatever that one, Rhea Ripley, that's it. I finally remembered it. But it was just kind of like the moment she lost, I knew she was done. And she's starting to be done. They're going to take that belt off her soon. I bet you. I bet before the year is up, Tiffany's going to be the champion. And speaking of Naomi, she should have never left TNA. When she left the company, her and Sasha Banks, like, they made a big statement. Of course, it was going to piss people off. She went to TNA, and of course, when you go to another company, you automatically become the champion. And so she was a champion for the longest time. But of course, we all know TNA doesn't pay as much as WWE doesn't. So she came on back. And funny how she came back when The Rock is finally taking shareholders in the WWE or TKO or whatever it's called. And funny how Nia Jax became world champ as soon as The Rock came back. See, ain't that interesting? Ain't that nepotism interesting? They're both his cousins, one biological and one through marriage. And let's not forget who her hubby is and everything. And and it's just kind of like she's wrestling, she's in tournaments, this and that, but she's not winning the belt. Like at all. She couldn't even win the U.S. title, which, by the way, if any former world women's champion win the U.S. or the Intercontinental belt, that's a downgrade. That is a downgrade. That's literally a downgrade from when Triple H used to be a world champ, and then he became Intercontinental champ again because Austin was a WWE champ. I looked at that, and I'm all like, man, you look like a little boy holding that belt. Or when Cena became U.S. champion after he's been like a 15-time world champion, you look like a little boy holding that belt. And that's what, if Bayley or if like Naomi or like Nia or like anybody like that win the Intercontinental or U.S. title, they're going to look like little girls holding that belt because they used to be a world champ. And that was the problem with not having the mid-card title for the women and everything. And it's like they're going 20 years back when they come into the women. And not only that, but some people need a change up. I like Bianca Belair, but her moves are very predictable. She needs to turn heel, and she needs a new move set because I can predict everything she's going to do before she does it. And I like her. She's cool. She's strong. But they're overplaying their card. And as for Natalya, man, she should have left the company when her contract was up. They don't do nothing with her. She is literally an enhancement talent. And she's a heart. A 9 heart at that. And I'm just kind of like... And yeah, JR says, she gets paid pretty well. I don't care. She's made to look like a joke. So that's my little gripe. I never I'm just tired of talking about wrestling right now because I'm just so irritated with what it's become. And it's like, I never even planned on ever making a wrestling video. And it's just that Saturday main event thing irritated me. A couple of matches I just got through seeing irritated me. Putting so many of your talent, why put your big name people, your mid card, and your enhancement people all in different groups? Let them be individual. And this is on from them not speaking up because they can't. This is on management, this is on writing, and this is on Triple H. When you hire your buddies to help you run creative and everything, this is what you're gonna get because his buddies were nothing more but mid-card people themselves and everything, So now I see why they're pushing these mid-card people, but it's kind of like, if you're gonna push mid-card, let mid-card win the big one, you know what I'm saying? because you just can't have them keep doing the same thing week after week after week. Because when you eat the same thing over and over, it gets boring.
Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.